everyone, it's DIY embellishment time. As you can see, just showing you the end result, and here we are going in and making them. So there's lots of tags in the kit this month. So this is using the Kitaholic Kits for August. There's lots of the wild heart from crepe paper in it and some other extra goodies like this tulle that I'm using. And we're going to get right in, and I moved them all out of the way because I realised I just want to work on one at a time. Don't know why I thought I wanted to work on multiple ones at once, but that was quickly decided against. So I'm just bunching up the tulle here. I just used some wet glue and I'm covering over those words because I'm not a plant mama. I kill my plants, and it is not a good thing to advertise in your scrapbooking or project life. So instead I am using this little embellishment card, and that is going to be the hit of this embellishment. So just moving it to the side there, still covering over the words, but being able to see more of that tulle. Just tiny attach it onto there and add some foam tape underneath. And there's not much more that I do to this, although I fiddle a little bit with it. And I'm going to get out my hole punch because it is a tag, and I'm going to keep it as a tag. So therefore I need to make the hole and then also put some twine in it. So some of these tags are from the cut apart sheet. There was a 12 by 12 cut apart sheet full of tags and project life cards. And there's some tags that came in the ephemera pack. There's some things like this that are exclusive Kitaholics embellishments. And we've got some bling. And yeah, so as always, Steph has put the kit together really well so that things match and they go together. Not only is there lots of goodies from the collection, there's also some other bits and pieces that go together. So I'm just using some natural twine to put through there. Just outline that heart in the bottom, and then I thought, oh no, I need something else. So I grab out my pink gel pen, and I just add a doodly border. I do go around once at the beginning, and then as I go, I look and I go, no, I need a second doodly border, make it a bit more of a scribbly, messy look. And that's going to just outline that tag much better. Add a little heart there for a double heart embellishment. And yeah, so that's going to be that. So there's just a close-up here of it, and you can see how bright that blue is rather than when I'm actually filming. So let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to cut the hole first, and there's this beautiful, I actually really like this print, but it's not something that I would normally use. So I figured if I make it into a DIY embellishment, then I'm more inclined to get it onto a layout or a project life page, and it will be pretty cool. So these go together really nicely, and then I realized, what is a butterfly going to do with a funny story? I was like, nah, I don't recall any funny story that I've had lately, or anything that would go with a butterfly. So I decided to split them up, and then I realized I've got this Our Life, and it goes much better on that mustardy yellow with the black leaves, and just trying to work out what else goes with it. So sticking it down. It's always good to start sticking things down if you've got the concept or the start of a concept going on. So I was just playing with these sunglasses, and they just weren't sitting the way I wanted them to go. So I changed my mind, and I've just got my really useful box to the side here, and that's got all my goodies in it, and just trying to work out what else. So there's lots of leaves and stuff out in this kit. There's lots of the tropical, beachy kind of vibe. So instead I decided to use some of them. Add in a gold heart from the chipboard, and that just brings in the gold from the gold leaf up the top, and this vellum leaf that's going to go underneath the tag. So it's nice to just layer up when you're embellishing, especially with you doing DIY embellishments. But anytime I'm doing an embellishment cluster on a project life card or on a layout, I always like to layer things up and to mix up the type of embellishments that you use, like the leaves. They're all leaves here, but some are stickers, some are ephemera pieces like die cuts, and some are vellum. So doing that means that you have a bit of variety going on, and it just adds to the look of the design and the interest, and draws your eye to it, but also makes you want to, look at it deeply, but also like touch, because you're like, oh, what's all the textures going on? So some black and white twine, because it's got lots of black on it, and that's what needs to happen, and is a close-up. So yeah, just a sweet little card. So next, I know that I don't drink coffee. I also have short hair, so these two do not go together with my life. So instead, I'm going to use that little piece of, I think it's chipboard, that little blue, it's not blue, yellow and pink piece, and I thought it was really pretty, but I'm not going to be able to make it work. So instead, I could layer some things up, and I love this "You Are One of a Kind," even though it does change out while I'm going. Lovely big camera sticker, so that's another little goodness going on, and I got a bit stuck, so instead I was like, okay, let me put the hole in the tag, and then I can have a think about what's going on. So I thought it needed something behind it, because the camera is so big to the left, but then also have that big circle to the right. It sort of needed a bit more on the left to even some things out. And so I'm just going to put another tag there. I really am not going to use something that's got a cheetah on it. So that goes as some nice, more of that yellow and pink mustardy yellow colour on there. And then this is the back of the cut apart sheet with the Project Life pieces on it. I'm just trying to work out if, it obviously goes really nicely, the black and white, because it fits in with the camera and whatnot on the front. But I couldn't position it the right way for such a long time. And then here we go. I've got it. So I'm just going to cut that down on this side, because as I said, I want it more to the left to balance out the edges that, the camera overhanging to the left a bit more. Then I found this Stay Wild, and I thought it just would be much nicer, but also more generic. So when you make your DIY embellishments, well, when I do, I like to make sure that they are generic enough that it could go on, multiple pages, that it's not so, one thing only can be used. There's only one photo in the whole of your collection of photos that this will go with, or no photos. So just going to put in a ripped piece of paper at the end here, and I did rip the bottom before I was probably talking, obviously. So yeah, so there's not much to, when I'm making DIY embellishments, there's not much prep or anything. I just get out my collection, get out some bigger pieces of ephemera like these tags or Project Life cards that I know I'm not going to use, or you could use your punches and make some labels, or cut out your own tags if you want, or cut out some big circles with your punches, or use a cut file if you don't have the right punches. So there's multiple ways that you can, or just freehand cut or draw and then cut it out. There's multiple ways you can do some DIY embellishments, and they are absolutely fun. I don't know why I'm playing with this twine so much. They are so fun to make, and then they are so awesome when you're making a layout to just quickly plonk on there, and you don't have to do too much more. So I love this bling in this kit, the pink and the mustardy yellowy colour. It goes so well with the collection and the kits that Steph has put together. So they get a good workout. So here I figured I would use some of the labels, because we get so many because I get the main and the Project Life embellishment and mixed media kit. So there's always some labels in the Project Life, and there's also some labels in the main kit. So there's so many to use, and I thought I'd put it on that blue and with the black leaves, and then I decided that I'd put it on a tag. I still want it on a tag, but I turned a tag over so that it was white. And I'm just going to have a play with some pink and blue labels. So there's some nice contrasting tones of the blue and the pink and the yellow even as well in the kit. And so the exclusive labels are made to go so well with what the rest of the kit has. So I'm just going to put some double-sided tape on, and I'm just going to layer, have a bit of a play. As long as you've got like not too many colours happening, then you can sort of just move things around and just go with it. So I thought I'd put one up the top here, sort of like a layout. When you've got a bulk of the goodness going on down the bottom, it's nice to have something to the side up the top there. So just trying to work out what I'm going to put on top. I did cut it down so that it was the same size as a label, a tag. I did originally want to overhang it, and then I thought, no, this would be cool if I cut it down. And I found this label with the words on it, I like you and naps. That was just perfect. So I cut that off so that it fits in with the rest. Did contemplate putting that cut off bit up the top, and then realized I didn't need it at all. So I do know that it needs something like 3D. This is very flat on this tag so far, and I just have a look around at the sticker sheet and the chipboard sheet. There's the die cuts and some all sorts of goodness. And here I am talking about 3D goodness is what I needed, but actually I go with a sticker, which is a different texture. So it's nice that it draws your eye that way in terms of what's going on. But it's so funny, and here's some chipboard. But it's so funny that when you look at it, even playing it back later, I was like, surely I was looking for chipboard, which I might have been, but found this happy, and then found this chipboard heart. So just using my tiny attacher to stick it on. When I put it down and then I pulled it up again, I did pull off the sticker backing, but that's okay. The tiny attacher will keep it down. Just going to outline it with my black thin Sharpie and put some twine in it. Sure, I think that's it. I have a little bit more of a play because I wondered if it needed something more, but quickly decide against that, and I decided to put some black twine in. So I've got 2 strips of it, 2 lengths of the twine, and then I double it up and put it, and then I did it this way, and then it was not the way I wanted it. I wanted the back, the side on the back, the part on the back put onto the front. So then I did it the opposite way, but it still did it that way, which is not a terrible thing. I just like the way on the back that it is tucked in. So there's my close-up, and we're going to move on to the next one. And this one is really cute. So when I looked at this Project Life card, I was like, it's nice, but how do you use that? And I love the best day part, and then this little toucan is just adorable chipboard. So I use that palm tree as a background, and that's just another layer of leaves behind the toucan. And I got this little word sticker from the sticker sheet, and that's how my cluster starts. It's going to add a little bit more to it, not too much. I don't need too much on there, but I do know that I need another type of leaf behind it to make it a few different textures of leaves going on. So just having a play. I realised I'd left a bit of the chipboard in between his beak and that leaf down and pulled it out. Now there was this pot plant sticker, and I know that I wasn't going to use it, so I instead rip off the part that has the pot on it, and I did keep it on the sticker sheet, put it back on there just in case. I really highly doubt that I will use it, and I just moved that gold leaf just a little bit further, and that's my little cluster there. So add in a border, and this is just a thin black pen, actually got from the Flutterby Designs retreat, which is pretty cool. So that's my little embellishment after I put on the word ever, best day ever. So there we go, close up and paradise found, and that could really go on anything. It's so cute that obviously, these are all beach themed and resort themed and whatnot, but that toucan embellishment could go on many things. I did like those words, this is everything, but it's just too boxy to go on these. So instead I'm going to start with this butterfly. I'm going to put some foam tape behind this little word sticker, and this is going to end up a pretty cute embellishment. It's so nice to just have a play and having things at your hand to just see what happens and what you make of it. So I pulled out a doily. These were in the kit as well. Just going to put that as a background piece. That just gives it an extra space in terms of the size of the DIY embellishment. And then I thought, oh, nice to have some little butterflies, would have been a nice little addition to that. But then I realized I've got this big one, and if I just move things a little bit, then it will all fit so nicely. So I'm just holding it up so I can see it from like a different perspective. I'm going to add some foam tape down the middle of this ephemera piece, this butterfly, so that his wings can sit up a little, and that way he's not so flat like the sticker is. So it's nice to have just a little play with the height of things and the 3D-ness of the things that you're putting on there. Having a play with the look of things, so stickers are often a bit more glossy than die cuts are. Bling and enamel dots are obviously a different look in terms of texture and glossiness and things like that. So have just a little play and just do what you can. I've covered this over so it doesn't look like a tag anymore, so I don't have to worry about putting in any twine. I did have a little play with this gold mirrored heart, but it was too fancy, like it had scroll kind of like shape to it, and just wasn't what I needed. So then I decided it needed a background to it, and this is where I'm like trying to audition a few things, and then I realized that there's this doily as well, the full doilies, which are very interesting. I've never seen before. And then I realized I got those 4x6 Project Life cards in the kit, and this one goes so well with it. So it's a nice pink with some chevron mustardy yellow pattern on it. So just using some double-sided tape, I'm just going to put it straight in the middle, add a border with that pen again, and that is just awesome. So there's room to put in a date if you want, or a title when you put in your Project Life, or you could just put it in there just like this, and you know, your page can be done so quickly. So there's a close-up, and here we go with this little chipboard frame and the chipboard camera. I'm just going to layer this black and white stripe on the background, so it's a nice little play with design. So the black and white stripe of the frame, and then the black and white stripe of the pattern paper in the background is so nice. Now I put that word together there, and I do pull it off later because I realize if I put leave together on there, that it sort of means I have got to put it on a page when we found something together with myself and someone, or you know, there's more than one person in the photo. And I didn't want to limit myself to that, so then I take that off a bit later. So I'm just pulling out some twine, some thread actually, not twine. Just going to put it in a messy cluster behind that camera. Excuse me. And that was just because I knew it needed something in between the camera and the frame and the pattern paper, but it didn't need like ephemera or another icon or anything like that because of the patterns that were already going on. And it was nice to put some thread there just to add some texture and something to draw your eye there and fill in that space as such, without it being overbearing if we'd put like another ephemera or a doily or anything like that. So just put that 1-inch circle that says love and some bling, and as you can see, I've taken off that word together, and it just goes so nicely. So once I have a play with putting the bling on, I'll show you the close-up, and I'm just going to quickly have a drink. There we go. So you can see how that thread just helps to bring it all together. Now this Project Life card here has this lovely galah on it with some leaves in the background, and so I decided to fussy cut it, and I'm going to put it on this, it's like a viewfinder card that we used to have as kids if you were a kid in the 80s, and or maybe even the 90s. And I just start as that as a base because I know I'm not going to use it for anything other than a layering piece or a well, it's like a layering piece and a DIY embellishment as well. So I'm going to start with that just to bring a pop of gold in, and I'm going to put, I've got a strip of paper as a banner, and I've put in some labels. I considered putting in this word, little embellishment, and instead I'm just going to have a play of that. Brought in some yellow, so the colours go so well together, of course, because the designers of collections are pretty good at doing that. And then Steph just enhances it a lot by adding in some extra goodies. So I found this Wild at Heart chipboard piece and decided that would be pretty cool, and that will mean that that Wild at Heart is what could tie it into many things. I could put anything with my children on it, and we can call it a day. So I'm going to put my bird on some foam tape, and I'm just going to cut the edges. I don't want it to be a banner because I've already got that banner as the pattern paper behind it, and it just made it too like fancy and stood out too much. But cutting off their fishtail banner part means that it just went with it much better and didn't stand out as like clashing with what was going on. I was just moving that over a bit because my label was showing on the right hand side behind the bird, but a little bit, but enough to be annoying, but not enough to look good. So there's close up, and we're going to have a play with some more labels. I really wanted to use this phrase ephemera piece, so I'm going to have a play, stick it all together, and there's not much to this one, so it's a nice quick one, and we're going to move on to a second one pretty soon. What am I looking for? I think I was seeing if it needed anything else. You know, sometimes when you've got labels and journaling spots, you want to fill it, forgetting that, you know, you could fill it when it's on the page with your journaling or with a word sticker that really goes well with what the layout's saying or doing. So I just added this circle label behind it. Just going to put some foam tape behind that phrase ephemera. And that's from the, actually that whole embellishment is from the exclusive ephemera from the Kitaholic kit. That's pretty cool. So I'm just going to put a border on that phrase die cut because that makes it stand out even more. So not only is it on foam tape to make it stand out, but also that border. I'm just seeing if there's anything else, but there isn't. So we're going to move to the next one. And unfortunately, my phone decided that filming hours and hours of 5 things, was enough for it, and decided the storage was full and that was going to be it. So check out some close-ups for a couple. I think there was 2 little ephemera pieces that DIY embellishments that didn't record, and the end of this where I cut it off and make it a square rather than a tag does cut off. So I'm just going to layer up some paper behind this Make Today Magical chipboard piece. I really like the gold leaf tag on the background, and instead when I get to the end it just doesn't go as a tag, and I put a word up the top to cover over where the tag hole is, and instead I cut it in between that word up the top and this chipboard area, and it becomes 2 embellishments. So that was pretty cool. It's nice when things accidentally happen and they turn out much better than you even thought yourself. So I love this little circle piece, and that was actually from the frame. And instead I'm going to put it in here and make that its own embellishment. So just going to add a bit more layers to the background of this one. The black makes it pop so well because of the black from the Make Today Magical chipboard piece. It just goes so well with the black tying in from the background, then tying it into that top piece, which is the phrase. So you can see, there we go. It looks really nice that way as well. I'm still playing. I'm still trying to get things on it. You know me with my layering and my embellishments. So just keep looking. Anyway, so if you've enjoyed this video, let me know. This is where I put something down up there and I end up making its own embellishment. Let me know if you have enjoyed this video, and if you make your own DIY embellishments, let me know and share on the Facebook group page. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying the kits, and if not, if you're haven't had one before, go check it out and definitely sign up because you don't want to miss what's going on each month, and in terms of the exclusive subscriber stuff on our Facebook page, but also the goodness that you get in the kit. So I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye.